Every car, regardless of where it is designed, built, or sold, can be described as a series of compromises. From economy hatchbacks to mid-size sedans, full-size pickup trucks to hybrid supercars, meeting a very specific set of criteria means intentionally missing all the rest. And so it is with the Rolls Royce Phantom. Except that the only compromise worth talking about is that the buyer must possess a price's no object desire for perfection. Before handing over the keys to a brand new, 8th generation Phantom, and shortly after rattling off nearly every positive tinged adjective in the English language, Rolls-Royce Communication Director Richard Carter tells us that this car represents the best that humankind can do in terms of luxury automobiles. A heady claim, but as it turns out, one that is difficult to dispute. Rolls-Royce goes to great pains to make the Phantom as malleable to the whims of its customers as possible. Besides the obvious paint and interior color choices, of which there are a great many, there's now a so-called gallery option that makes up a large portion of the dashboard. It's a glass-enclosed space designed to house just about anything a Phantom customer could possibly want to put on display. We saw some beautiful ceramic work, jewel-like shell designs, and even a swath of iridescent feathers. Directly in front of the driver is a digital gauge cluster designed to mimic the look of traditional dials. Its resolution is high enough that individual pixels can be made out from the driver's seat. We think some classically styled gauges would be more in keeping with the Phantom's mission statement, but that's our only gripe inside, and it's minor. A centrally mounted LCD displays all the pertinent information a driver could need, and a slightly modified riff on BMW's iDrive software package is controlled through a leather-clad module that pivots from the center console. Phantom 7 was still selling at a brisk pace by Rolls-Royce standards when it was discontinued last year, so it's not surprising that Phantom 8 doesn't rewrite the styling rulebook. There's a large, upright grille at the front, a long and graceful arcing hood, and an almost windswept greenhouse with an extremely tall roof in order to keep the passenger compartment as large as possible. We didn't test the capability ourselves, but we're told that the rear door openings were designed to accommodate passengers wearing large hats or turbans. Entering the Phantom through its reverse opening rear doors is like settling down into a whole different world. Once the electrically actuated rear door closes, the sounds of the world quickly drift away from memory. The seats recline, massage, warm, cool, and caress the body perfectly. A power footrest rises from the floor. Sitting in between the two rear seats is a console that can house whiskey and glasses or champagne and flutes. Choose wisely. Serenity is the name of the game played betwixt the Phantom's four wheels. Rolls-Royce assures us that the Phantom, as the vehicle that sits at the very head of the automaker's portfolio, is the quietest vehicle in the world. The next closest competitor, perhaps unsurprisingly, is the Phantom's smaller sibling, the Rolls-Royce Ghost. Several inches of sound-deadening material surrounds the passenger compartment, covered in mostly aluminum outside and lathered in leather within. Carpets are the softest lamb's wool your toes will ever touch, and the ceiling is plastered with tiny hand-placed lights that twinkle in your periphery like the stars of a moonless night sky. There's an all-new engine nestled under the Phantom 8's hood, still displacing the classic 6 3/4 liters. The V12 engine gains 2 turbochargers for 2018 and spins out 563 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque. If you're so inclined, the Phantom will waft to 60 miles per hour in a little over 5 seconds. A glance at the dyno sheet proves the engine is very much under stress. Torque peaks at 1,700 RPM and stays pegged at that figure basically forever. Or at least until the GPS-guided, ZF-supplied, 8-speed automatic transmission decides it's time to shift. You'll barely be able to notice when those shifts fire off, so seamless is the powertrain and so silent the car, and you definitely won't miss the non-existent paddle shifters on the hand-stitched leather steering wheel. There is no self-driving technology to be found amongst the Phantom's deep bag of features. One day, Rolls-Royce CEO Torsten Müller says, a Rolls-Royce may be able to drive itself. But not until such technology is perfectly able to replace a human driver. After all, The Rolls-Royce customer isn't interested in gimmicks, and probably already owns a car or three with it kind of technology. A Phantom is owned for a different reason and occasion.